Picture this fictional scenario. 8 o'clock in the morning, smack in the middle of the city's most congested intersection, traffic seizes up without warning. A man clad in animal skins bolts out to cut off a bus. He has zero grasp of traffic signals, bares his teeth defensively, while brandishing a dry wooden stick, and is swiftly tackled and restrained by police for disturbing the peace. Under normal circumstances, this would set social media ablaze. But what if I told you this man had just stumbled out of a time machine? That he is a Neanderthal, rooted in a world 40,000 years ago? The moment the handcuffs snap shut around his wrists, an unprecedented legal crisis erupts. The instant he is funneled into the police station, this man throws the entire administrative system into a tailspin. The duty officer pulls up his computer to log a profile. Full name? Non-existent. Date of birth? Anyone's guess. Nationality? Completely off the table. Officers run his hand through the biometric scanner. The fingerprint scanner spits out an error. The skin of his palm is heavily calloused and carries a ridge pattern that diverges sharply from anything on record. Facial recognition draws a blank. His skull structure falls clean outside the dataset the system was ever built to handle. The 21st century smart system runs on one brutal logic. If you leave no data trail, you simply don't exist. By the book, an individual who is unidentifiable and shows no signs of coherence gets slotted into one of two categories: a homeless person with mental illness or an undocumented illegal immigrant. So, playing it safe, authorities ship him off to a detention and health assessment facility. At this point, scientists perk up and a full medical examination kicks off. What they uncover is staggering: bone mass and muscle density that blow modern human benchmarks out of the water, traits hammered into a species by hundreds of thousands of years of hunting and brutal climates. The skull sports pronounced brow ridges. The jawbone and posterior cranium bear distinctive shapes that dropped off the face of the human gene pool. The moment the Neanderthals vanished from the Earth, the biological analysis delivers a bombshell. DNA sequencing reveals that his genome carries the fingerprints of the Neanderthal lineage, a species that died out approximately 40,000 years ago, standing clearly apart from the genome of modern Homo sapiens, though still tethered to it by a close evolutionary thread. Immediately, no one wants to touch this case with a 10-foot pole. The police say, "This one. Kick it over to the Ministry of Health." The Ministry of Health stares at the DNA. This is way above our pay grade. Toss it to the Academy of Science. The Academy of Science. Oh, now we're talking. Hand him over for research. The human rights lawyers. Not so fast. And this is where everything truly goes off the rails. The story takes a sharp turn. When a human rights law firm decides to throw itself into the ring, they fire off a written ultimatum to the research institute. No civilized nation gets to lock up a human being indefinitely in a laboratory simply because they can't produce an ID. But state authorities hit back immediately with an argument that holds just as much water. If we cut him loose, who picks up the tab for whatever happens next? He has no concept of criminal law, no understanding of property ownership. He could lash out at someone purely on survival instinct. Turning him loose is a disservice to the community and a danger to himself. Honestly, that argument lands. Say we set him free right now, and then, half-starved, he charges into a supermarket and makes off with an entire rotisserie chicken. Does that go on the books as shopping or robbery? A genuine catch-22. The most unsettling part is that modern law has no shortage of provisions. For people who have lost their documents, undocumented immigrants, individuals who have lost legal standing, the homeless, and those in need of a guardian. Yet there is virtually no clause ever drafted for a person born before the very concepts of nation-state, border, and civil registration ever saw the light of day. If this case claws its way up to the Supreme Court, it would be the most farcical trial in human history. A judge draped in robes, lawyers buttoned up in suits and ties, the country's top journalists, all dead seriously debating the legal fate of a man sitting in the dock, looking around like a lost child, trying to wrap his head around why so many people in matching outfits are sitting inside a very large cave making a tremendous racket. No one in that courtroom can get a straight answer out of him through normal means. Ask his name. The concept goes completely over his head. Ask his nationality. That notion hadn't even been invented yet in his time. Ask his permanent address. And the closest answer you'd get is some cave beside a stream. near a forest crawling with dangerous predators. But that is precisely what makes this trial so maddening. The court must hand down a ruling on a question no law textbook on Earth ever thought to prepare an answer for. Is human rights something you have at birth, or something you must register for? There is a bitter irony here. A being who clawed through ferocious combat against the wild to keep our lineage alive, now nearly gets buried alive under a mountain of administrative paperwork left behind by his own descendants. Now this thorny puzzle is yours to crack. Should this prehistoric man be issued a special identity card, or simply set free to find his way back to nature? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join me peeling back the layers on more fascinating stories.